You're looking for your toys? Is that your toy? Is that what you're looking for? Oh, sorry. Careful. Hey everybody, I'm Mr.G. Aloha. Sorry I'm late. There was a traffic jam on the way to campus today. Da-da-dum. Whew, I hope everybody's having a good day today. Good afternoon. Like I said, hey Susie Rockencrotch, I missed you. I think you've had four or five absences straight. But I'll make sure to. I was thinking about that. I need to get a flag, Susie. I need to get a flag, but that is in the cards. Okay, 1 second. Like I said, I'm running a little bit late today. I know we start at 3 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. That's 3 p.m. live Hawaii Standard Time, Monday through Friday. But I'm just running a little bit late today. You're right.
Good morning, Mr.G.
Good morning, Wazza. Hey, Kiana, you want to join us? Come on, you want to join us? Come on.
Lita, hi, Mr.G. It's Kat.
Hey, Lita. Cool.
Susie, pass the card. Hello, I love you, Gregory.
Jimmy54 just subscribed.
I'm sure very well. Bugs Bunny kiss. Alright, hope you guys are doing good. The floor is still drying up here. I try to mop.
Lita, hi, Mrs. J.
Mop the floor every day. Okay, so let's go ahead and we want to get straight into things since we're running a little bit late today. So I'm going to take a quick roll because we have a lot of new people added to the roll. And I appreciate all the new people on the roll. So we're going to go ahead and just call that out real quick. Just if you hear your name called, just say here or present and you get a check mark. There's no penalty for not being here. But hey, Easy Funshine, no, you're right on time. There's no penalty for not being here, but you do get extra points, Mr. G points, if you are here, and you do obtain check marks. Okay, so Mary Cookmore. I'll say each name twice. Mary Cookmore. No. Turpa. These are all the new subscribers, so thanks everybody who I call out on this list. Turpa21. Thank you. Blooper. Thank you. Tommy Road, R-O-E-D. Tommy Road, R-O-E-D. Thank you, Tommy. Little Lemon. So Vain 329. So Vain 329. Aloha. Seamus Davis. Thank you. Rami. Aloha. Russ Anderson. Smoking Loud. You're welcome. Aloha. Rohan 77. Thank you. Lurs 3003. Lurs 3003. 10 is not my lucky number. Hey, Shoshan, aloha. 10 is not my lucky number. Ruthless JJ. And Yoha Batista. Those are the new students. If you guys see them in class, if you see them in the hall, try to be nice to them. Try to be friendly. Okay, so the regular roll call here. This is the regular roll. Interesting. Okay. Ash Mods. You hear Ash? No. Sean Ryder. No. Nessa's got 5 straight classes. 6 straight. Nessa, are you here? Okay, Nessa's not here. She may come in late. Super Roofer, Mark, you here? No? Okay, Big Block. Master Dan. Mrs. J. Mrs. J's here. Almost perfect attendance for Mrs. J. Uncle Meat. Uncle Meat. No Uncle Meat. Lita. Lita's here.
Susie Buttercotch, holy shit bitch.
Perfect attendance for Lita too. Thorax God.
Susie Buttercotch, Meta TF.
Thorax God. Nope. Cody. Cody. No Cody. Bella. Bella smiles.
Mrs. J, the mermaid gift.
Shoshan is here. Welcome, Shoshan. Missed you last couple days. New Jersey SKF. New Jersey SKF.
Uncle Meat, here.
Oh, Uncle Meat is here. Thank you, Uncle Meat. Welcome. Go ahead and have a seat. Pebs. Pebs? I know she's a busy girl, so she's makes the class when she can. Mindy Jewel. Mindy has now been here since the disagreement I had with her. Jimmy. No, Jimmy, if he is here. Jimmy 54 is here. Jimmy 54 is here. Susie Rottencrotch finally decided to show up for class. Welcome, Your Highness, Susie Rottencrotch. Muzza. Muzza is here. That's 3 straight classes for Muzza. Tatted Up Man, you showed up last class. Tatted Up Man, you here today? No? Okay. Detroit, Michigan. You've been having pretty good attendance. A little tardy sometimes. You here today, Detroit? No. Lieutenant Monkey, it's okay if you come in late. I'll make sure to argue about it.
I am here today, Mr. G. Sorry for my
Lieutenant, it's okay. Lieutenant Monkey.
Hi, Mr. G.
Hey, Bella Smiles is here. Aloha, Bella. Welcome. That's 2 straight classes. Okay, Muzza is here. Maze Jordan. Maze Jordan, the Australian. Are you here today, mate? No, Maze? Okay. Big Jim's wifey. Big Jim's wifey. No? Wyatt? Wyatt, are you maybe across? Wyatt? No? Wyatt?
Mrs. J, the mermaid, thanks.
Okay, break the cycle. I know you're busy, break the cycle, but I appreciate you watching the VODs. If you're watching this in the future, I hope everything's well. XFS? XFS? No? Cletus. Cletus. I've reached out to John Remus, Cletus, so are we looking forward to the upcoming special guest? Cody will be too, the special sex education class that we have coming up here. That's going to take place, if not this Friday, probably next Friday. Okay, Crazy Mofo Killer. Crazy Mofo Killer. No Crazy Mofo Killer? Okay. I encourage you to encourage, if you guys see Crazy Mofo Killer in the halls, you see him in any other stream, encourage him to come to class on Thursday. Because Thursday is actually Mr. G's birthday. We're gonna have a special stream on Thursday. We're gonna learn about Carl Sagan. We're gonna learn about Carl Sagan for a little bit on Thursday. We're gonna have a birthday stream because it's my birthday and I turned 41. So we're gonna have a quick class on Carl Sagan, a fun class. Whoa. And then right afterwards, we're going to do a cooking stream. I'm going to make me some Lucky Charms Rice Krispie marshmallow treats for my birthday. And you guys are welcome to stick around for that. That'll be on Thursday. So that's my birthday on Thursday. Okay, continuing with the roll. Dabzilla. Dabzilla.
XFS, here.
XFS. Welcome, XFS. Dabzilla. I marked you present, XFS. Dabzilla. No. Kramer. In Tech 1. Kramer in Tech 1. Kramer in Tech 1. No? Okay. It's doing a lot of zooming and stuff today, huh? Let me know. Yeah, that's a good idea. Edibles for my birthday. Let me know if the zooming is too much, if you want me to adjust it more. Okay, Aquarius. Aquarius. Dabzilla.
Tech 1, here, Mr. G.
Hey, Tech 1, welcome. Aloha. Tech 1, that's 3 classes in a row. Appreciate it. Dave London. Dave, you here today? You've got great attendance this week. So it's okay. I understand if you guys, I know life happens. I understand.
Mr. Nicotino, sorry, you're late for class.
Hey, Nicotino, welcome. Aloha. You were just coming up next on the list. Welcome, Nicotino. Like I said, in particular, Nicotino, I understand, you guys have lives and you guys have, obligations and stuff. I'm not the only class. Oh, Cletus is here too. Welcome, Cletus. Aloha. I understand I'm not the only class you guys are taking. Some people have a full load. Some people have jobs. And I appreciate that. So if you have to miss class, that's fine. You can always send me a direct message on Discord or on Twitter. Maybe Mrs. J can put the link to the Discord in the chat. And so if you have to miss class, just send me a message. Let me know what's up. And and realize we meet Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, every weekday at 3 p.m. At 3 p.m. live, Hawaii Standard Time. So, if you miss one day, there's always tomorrow. And each day it's something fun. Monday, we do U.S. government. Tuesday, today, U.S. history. Wednesday is psychology, sociology, or geography. Thursday is Science Thursdays, and Fridays is always a health or cooking stream, which goes right with health, right? Okay, anyways, so this Friday's health stream, we're going to have a special guest speaker, JR, also known as John Remus. If he can't make it this Friday, then he'll be the guest speaker the following Health Friday. Because what is Friday's class? It's Health Friday. I'm just kidding. I'm just okay. Crazy teacher. I didn't smoke any weed. I mean, I don't smoke weed. I didn't use any medicinal cannabis today. Okay, continuing with roll. Little Bat, they let you out? I understand. Well, this stream is actually this Pearl Harbor. We're learning about the Pearl Harbor for a reason. We're here in Hawaii. Yes, that's on Friday. Cletus. Yes, Friday, Cletus. You gotta wait till then. Today we're learning about Pearl Harbor, and this is really interesting, guys. And I want you to pay attention to today and the next class, the next lecture on Pearl Harbor, because by the time that happens, we might be actually able to leave the apartment and go to Pearl Harbor. So that's really going to be a good thing. We could go to Pearl Harbor. We'll take a field trip there. We'll see all these wrecked ships that we're learning about today, and we'll see the remnants of what's left of a great U.S. naval brigade. Okay, so continuing to roll here. Peaceful Pyro. No. Stinky Pinky. Nope. Mr. Nicotino is here. Thank you, Mr. Nicotino. Dope Boy Magic? Dope Boy Magic. Dope Boy Magic? Nope. Cat Avalanche. Cat Avalanche. Super Roofer is here. Aloha, Super Roofer. Okay, Flowers in Her Hair is here. Welcome, Flowers. Brogan Lovitz. He hasn't been to class for months. Brogan Lovett. I don't even know why he's still on the roll. They gotta update this roll, huh? I'd really like to use some cannabis, but I promise not to do that during school hours. But anyways. Cat Avalanche. No. Samantha Sweetheart. No. Super Roofer, you're next on line. Speak of the devil, Super Roofer is present. Next up on the list here, we have Loud Team. Flowers in a Hair. Thank you, Zetis. I appreciate that. I actually sent you an invite on Discord, Zetis Lepetis. And I also spent an extreme amount of time searching for Zach Morris on the band list on YouTube, which I was unsuccessful at finding, Zetis, but I appreciate you being here. I do owe you a dance, and also yeah, that's it. Okay, let's hurry and finish. Chris Jackson, Air Mate? No. Death Valley Debbie? No. Clout Gangsta? Clout Gangsta? Yeah. No.
BKMMXN, meow.
Oana Mana Muna, the spaceship flying with the Hawaiian name flying through the solar system right here. Nope. Curlin Kramer? Nope.
Susie Crotch waited his whole life acting like
Mr. Gurr? Nope. Adam Smith? Adam Smith? Nope. Rhonda G. I forgot all about Rhonda G and her dancing machine. No Rhonda G. Tiara Random Videos. Tiara Random Videos. I know she's busy, Mom. Jenny Lee. Jenny Lee, are you here? No? Okay, Helica. Helica. The lovely Helica. She's been to Hawaii.
Indeed, Mrs. J, he's really having fun. We feel very organic. It's not
RDW3. RDW3.
3 elements. Thumbs up donates to Mr. G with text to speech.
Oh, okay.
Thumbs up page TTS.
OT. OT. I'm sorry you weren't on the roll earlier. OT. Is OT here? No. What about Willie Tao?
Hey, Mr. G, long time. Don't you stream on Twitch anymore?
Who was that? Willie Tao. Is Willie here today?
Mrs. J, the mermaid, force totally agree. Great observations. Mercedes and Pettis.
Hey, Georgina. Aloha. Yeah, I've just been going with YouTube lately. I do like Twitch, and but lately I've just been going with YouTube. With this new system that I'm using, with the flip of a button, I can easily go live on Twitch and YouTube, which I've been meaning to. It should be working. I don't know why it's not. But anyways, welcome to the class. I'll add you to the roll, Georgina. And we meet every Monday through Friday, 3 o'clock live, Hawaii Standard Time.
3 members. You can send Mr. G all his cats, letters, and packages.
Okay, so Georgina's on the roll. Helica? No. The lovely Renee R.
Susie Crotch absent.
Is Renee R here? She is a cutie. I really think Renee is a cutie capoodie. But okay, that's enough about me. Alright, same girl. Same girl. No. Glass C? Class C? No. Loser 0. Loser 0. Loser 0. Nope. Charles Bukowski? Mr. Bukowski, are you here today? No Bukowski. You guys are some real ones. I'm sorry if I forgot to add you on the roll. These new names, that I've added these on the roll last night. I looked up a few of the old streams, not old streams, but just some of the real ones. And I can't believe I forgot about these people. Jean-Philippe Leblanc. Jean-Philippe Leblanc.
It's okay if you want to.
Jean-Philippe Leblanc. Nope. All right. And last and certainly not least, GoPro Creations. GoPro Creations. Nope. And John Doe. Is John Doe here? Nope. All right, guys. That's the roll. It's getting bigger every day. But,
I used to watch you on Twitch a lot on events.
Yeah, I remember you, Georgina. So guys, today we are going to be learning about Pearl Harbor. I titled today's lecture, The Next Pearl Harbor, but that's kind of just, clickbait. Clickbait. So those of you that do not know, Pearl Harbor was one of the only times in the United States history where the United States was attacked. And it happened on December 7th, 1941. Can everybody see the board clearly? So this is Japan right over here. This is Hawaii, and this is the U.S. mainland.
Remember me, Mr. G. Mr. Nicotina, wait.
So, what Japan did was they sent their aircraft carriers to Hawaii undetected, within 200 yards of the north shore of Oahu, right over here, right under where it says Pacific Ocean, right here. And it was just out of the range of radar, right? So on the morning of December 7th, 1941, it was a Sunday morning, it caught them off guard. The Japanese...
Apparently, you can't say that here, that's not my decision.
The Japanese sent 353 Japanese fighter planes from the North Shore.
Streamlabs. Thumbs up, donate to Mr.G with text to speech. Thumbs up page, TTS://streamlabs.com/streamlabs/.
So this is the island of Oahu, right here. Up north here, this is the North Shore, okay, the famous North Shore. Honolulu, Waikiki, where Britain's boat was, that's over there in the yellow where it says Honolulu.
Mr. Nicotino, Japanese counting.
That's over where I'm at, the Honolulu. This whole island isn't that huge. It takes probably about 8 to 10 hours to ride a bike from one side to the other. So the Japanese planes, they all came parked from the North Shore right up above, it would be like right here, 200 yards.
This is a winning strategy. All you've got to do is refine things like maybe creating green screen backgrounds for each class/scene and using chalkboards and whiteboards small for effect.
So this is the first attack. If you see the blue, those are the fighters. There was only one set of fighters, and they went to protect the dive bombers. The dive bombers, they went the furthest inland. All the planes came from the North Shore. The majority of the island in Honolulu live right here in Waikiki. Okay? So, but all the planes came from the North Shore. So some went around the left, like this would be Waianae, and some went around the right, over on the Kaneohe side. This is the rainy side. The east side is the rainy side. The west side is the dry side. So there's civilians everywhere. And the United States suffered massive casualties. 2,403 Americans died compared to 65 Japanese. However, there were only about 65 civilian casualties. So let's put that into perspective, class. So how many people died on September 11th? Hey Google, how many people died on September 11th? So,
why did they come from the North Shore?
Well, that was their strategy. That's a good question, Susie. One of the main reasons is because there's military bases surrounding this island. However, some of the major ones are on the North Shore. So if you see here, they went after the major Navy bases and basically stayed away from civilians. The way this island... That's right, Georgina. The way this island works, this is Honolulu right here in Waikiki. It's right next to that. This is Ala Moana. The majority of the people that live on this island live in this area, and that's civilians. There aren't any, really too many military bases in Honolulu and Waikiki. That's where you have a lot of condos and a lot of congestion and stuff. So the military bases are right here at Pearl Harbor. They concentrated their attacks so they would all go to Pearl Harbor. They would all meet at Pearl Harbor. So if you notice, the red goes to Pearl Harbor, the purple goes to Pearl Harbor, the yellow goes to Pearl Harbor. The only ones that don't go to Pearl Harbor is this blue. And that's because the blues are the fighter pilots. They weren't intended to bomb anything. They were just going to fight the U.S. response. So to see the blue, they only went right here. So this is the main Air Force air base on this island. This is where Wheeler Airfield is. And so the fighter planes, the blue, they were coming in here knowing that all of the fighters were going to be right there. But overall, their goal was to hit Pearl Harbor. There was a base on Kaneohe over here where you see this purple. So they were going to drop some bombs on Kaneohe. But the goal was to get to Pearl Harbor because that's where the main idea of attack was. There's also an Air Force base in Eva Beach right there. You see where it says EWA? So they dropped bombs there on the way to Pearl Harbor. So to answer your question, Susie, that's why they decided to attack via the North Shore. And this is a 3D diagram right here, which better explains it. So this is the southern part of the island, The Japanese army, they had a submarine right here.
Mr.G, this map thingy is something you should use the green screen for.
Yes, I know, but this is what we're doing today.
Hey, Mr. Nicotino.
Hey, Ash. I'll make sure. So you see all the arrows are coming from this way. There was a first wave and a second wave. They decided not to fly in the third wave. So this is the first wave, the second wave. They all came to the North Shore and they all aimed at the southern point of the island. So you see on this map right here, you can see better with the yellow and the red. So this is Oahu. You see the middle area, this is Pearl Harbor. It's one of the most, it's a natural harbor, and they're still full of military right there. So this is where mainly the civilians are. So all the planes came from the North Shore because they were all heading to this area, but they wanted to bomb a few targets on the way. They mainly stayed away from civilians. Like when you think about it, I think Georgina answered the question. About 3,000 people died during September 11th. I think the total is like 2,903 for September 11th. And the amount of U.S. military. See, I don't like chalk. It gets me like all like dusty, even with this. Anyway, sorry. In Pearl Harbor, this was September 11th. On Pearl Harbor, I think it was, what was the final total? 2,400 Americans died. So they say, you know, like, oh, September 11th was like, was like this generation's Pearl Harbor. So 2,993 people died on September 11th. 2,400 people died on Pearl Harbor. The biggest difference, however, is 2,993 civilians. Civilians died on September 11th. Those are innocent people in the planes. And those are innocent people in the planes, and those are innocent people in the buildings that died. The Battle of Pearl Harbor, granted 2,400 people died, but only 60 civilians died. So, you know, the Japanese sent all their planes and, well, let's see what the exact number is. It should say right here. Okay, 68 civilians died. So 68 civilians died. So 2,400. This is Pearl Harbor.
Is it true Pearl Harbor was kind of a revengeful captain? Matthew J. carried into Japan, essentially required to be attacked.
So 2,400 servicemen died, but only 68 civilians died. But imagine being one of those 68 people, because this is a small island. Like, I've walked around this whole island before, you know, not at one time, but I basically, I've walked from there to there in one shot along the coast, and then I walked from where it says Honolulu to where it says Eva, and I used to do that every day from Honolulu to Pearl Harbor, or up past that even, from like right there to right there. And so, you know, this island is a small island, so you think 68 people that morning were just minding their own business, you know, chilling on the beach side over here in Kaneohe, or, you know, over here at just playing basketball in Waianae, or over here in Wahiwa. And all of a sudden, Japanese planes just start flying in and just start bombing everybody, and you're running for your life, and there's Japanese bombers coming,
Mr.G needs his medicine, or he gets really agitated by talking people.
and then you're yelling "Tora, Tora, 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 Tora," which was the secret code that meant the Japanese are attacking.
Susie Hasselkoch, 200,000 civilians died on COVID-19.
Yeah, they say 200,000 people died of COVID-19. So that's 200,000 right there. And when you think about it, that's a lot more people than, you know, let's say we have about 2,500 people died in 9/11. I mean, 3,000 people died in 9/11, and 2,500 people died in Pearl Harbor. So that's 5,000 total. So this is why numbers are important. right?
He said, Flashlight, what time of the day did they call Mr.G?
It was about 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning, so that was the time of the week. You know, whenever I'm doing something, you know, nefarious, you know, when do I do it? 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. What better time? You know, you catch people off guard. People aren't waking up to go to sleep. People had, you know, maybe had a drink or two the night before. You know, I've been ostracized my whole life, class. Mr. G has never fit in anywhere. So, you know, going against the group and away from the crowd is something that I've been accustomed to. So that's one reason why I delivered newspapers for so many years, because nobody else was up at that hour. That's probably a reason that I like to wake up so early in the freaking morning, because nobody else is up at that time. You want to do things differently. There's so many humans in the world. There's so many billions and billions of humans that have existed, and there's billions of humans in the world now. You know, I was pretty sure there was like 7.5 billion humans for so long, and then now I just learned yesterday we're almost at 8 billion humans. But anyways, there's so many people in the world, there's not enough time to meet all the people, you know? Like, even if you were like a king and like you wanted to meet as many people as possible and you started when you were like 10 years old, and then so you would have to, just to meet everybody in the world, just to shake everybody's hand, you would have to get them all in a room and like maybe like 100 people at a time, and you would have to go boom, 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 and shake everyone's, nice to meet you, 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 and then you couldn't even get through a quarter of the people on Earth. So there's so many people on Earth, you can't even contemplate each individual one. You can't even contemplate each individual person.
It's just everybody's grandmother.
The innate qualities is crazy when you think about it. If a person has $1 billion,
I wake up 4 a.m. Bet you can't beat that.
yeah, I do beat that. I beat that every day. I wake up earlier than 4 a.m. every day. But anyways, Jeff Bezos has $200 billion. If a person has $1 billion, that means that they can mathematically spend like $200,000 a day for 125 years. Now, most people, they don't live to be 125 years, but just for argument's sake, let's say you live to be 125. If you have a single $1 billion, you can spend $200,000 a day. Oh my goodness. So that means if I had $1 billion, I could cure the homeless cat issue in Hawaii. Couldn't I, class? Couldn't I? If I had $1 billion, I could cure homelessness in Hawaii. Some people have $200 billion, like Jeff Bezos. And then that prick from New York City, Mike Bloomberg, he's also one of the richest people in the world. He has multiple billions of dollars. He actually just spent, I think it was like $50 million. He gave the money to convicts so they could vote in the upcoming election, because they had to pay a particular fine or something, felons, you know, because normally convicted felons aren't allowed to vote. But Michael Bloomberg, most convicted felons, like, who are we kidding ourselves? Most convicted felons, they're not voting for Trump, are they? They're voting for fucking anarchy. And so Bloomberg, being with the anarchist party, he got paid all these people's like fines or whatever, like millions of dollars worth, so they can vote in the upcoming election. It's so shady, man. I'm not going to touch on it too much, but our rights are being taken away every day. We're not even allowed to defend ourselves anymore. You know, if a mob comes to your house, you're not even allowed to defend yourself. Like, a lot has changed in my personal opinion on politics in the last few months. I used to be anti-abortion and pro-gun control. Now I'm pro-abortion and pro-Second Amendment. Okay, but back to history. So, puts it into perspective. 200,000 people died from COVID, which is a lot. And 5,000 people died with Pearl Harbor and 9/11 put together. So a bunch more people have died from COVID. But what do they say? More people die from the flu every year than COVID-19? So, I mean, it puts things in perspective, you know. Pearl Harbor was one of the most important, memorable events of that generation, right? But granted, only 2,500 people died. And just like September 11th, only 3,000 people died. So you ask yourself, who benefited from that? What was the political gain from that? Because, remind you, these politicians, they don't have our interests at heart. They're not some grand old, good old people like they pretend to be.
Senator Pettis, the right vote should never have a game off Bloomberg, but Pettis stupid, that's picked to vote shit.
So Pearl Harbor gave FDR a reason to enter World War II. Because the thing is, public opinion, the majority of the public at this time didn't want to go to World War II. You know, there was a generation, they remembered what happened in the First World War, and they weren't happy. So the last thing they wanted to do was go to another war. And so before Pearl Harbor, public opinion was vastly against going to war. Whatever happening was in Europe was happening in Europe and didn't concern the United States. At least that was the overall consensus. But when Pearl Harbor happened on December 7th, 1941, you know, like I said, Europe had already been at war for 3 or 4 years. And the Japanese used to be an ally of the United States. China and Japan were both allies of the United States during World War I. The reason they stopped becoming an ally, Japan in particular, is because Japan was raiding China since the Manchurian Candidate. Excuse me, that's a famous movie, different movie. But since China raided Manchuria is what started with their Chinese expansionism. Chinese imperialism is the word I was looking for. So Japan, you've heard of the rape of Nat King, where they came to China. Japan had been doing that. That was before World War II. Japan had been attacking China over and over for World War II. China had a large amount of oil reserves. In Japan, they wanted the oil. Also, during this time of the 1930s, before World War I even started, Japan had gotten fed up with the United States. All right. Now, this is a touchy subject.
Senator Pettis, the amount of money in your pocket should determine your level of rights.
All right, so when you think of Japan right now, it's really Japan. Like it doesn't have like a lot of multiculturalism. Like if somebody's Japanese, you generally have a good idea of what they look like. During World War II, it was a big policy in Japan to not have Euro people there, Europeans there, or Caucasian people, or any other race besides the Japanese race. The slogan was Asia for Asians. Okay? Now, maybe a lot of people don't want to hear that, and, you know, it is what it is. You know? Like, don't kill the messenger. So during this time, Japan wanted to get all the freaking white people out of their country, and they were successful in doing so. All right. But they had a beef with the United States, and they had a beef with European countries, and granted so, because imperialism had been going on for hundreds of years, where England, France, Germany, the United States, they were going into these other countries all around the world and claiming it as their own. So, you know, when you hear about Pearl Harbor, a lot of people don't know that it was a massive attack on that morning. Other areas were attacked by the Japanese army as well. The Philippines were attacked. Hong Kong was attacked. Guam was attacked. If you follow recent events, China just made a video about it's like a movie trailer of them blowing up Guam as a way to get back at the United States. But yeah, it was a multi-planned attack. Pearl Harbor, you know, obviously.
Japan is still like 98% mono-ethnic.
Thank you, Georgina. You said it better than I did. It's hard to explain, convey that information. But one of the reasons is because their policies all that go back all the way before World War II. So even today, like you can see, there is a lot of racism and stuff that happens in Japan. I've never been there myself, so I can't speak too much on it. But yeah. So basically, overall, a certain number of people died in Pearl Harbor, 3,000 people, and it changed the public opinion and made people more inclined to support a war, which FDR really wanted. So the day after Pearl Harbor, So Pearl Harbor happened on a Sunday. The next day on Monday, happens one of the most famous speeches in United States history. FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, gives the speech. What was it?
Chris Connell, Camel Toe.
That's it, Chris. That's the name of the speech. Camel Toe. Famous speech. Camel Toe. No. Day of Infamy. The day.
100 by Minority Where?
I know. What the fuck? So the day after Pearl Harbor, FDR gives one of his most famous speeches, the Day of Infamy. This speech, it's a really powerful speech. It motivates the public to support going to war. And so the next day after this speech, FDR goes to Congress, and Congress grants him the power to declare war on Japan. So here's some trivia. The United States declared war on Japan, but after that, they didn't declare war on Germany. Germany declared war on the United States after Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. So, now, this speech right here, FDR, the Day of Infamy speech, it basically convinces people to declare war on Japan. And granted, let's do the numbers game. Like 2,500 people is a lot, but only 60 civilians died in Pearl Harbor. Excuse me. And then 2,500 servicemen. But how many people have died of COVID-19? 200,000. So 2,500. Let's put it in perspective. How many people died in Hiroshima and Nagasaki? I mean, a lot more than 2,500, right? So right now I'm going to play for you guys the Day of Infamy speech, the FDR speech that we're just learning about. And I want you guys to listen closely, and we're going to have a short quiz afterwards, okay?
Mr. Speaker, members of the Senate.
I'm going to grab a glass of water, guys. Mrs. J's in charge.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The United States was at peace with that nation, and at the solicitation of Japan, was still in conversation with its government and its emperor, looking toward the maintenance of peace in the Pacific. Indeed, 1 hour after Japanese air squadrons had commenced bombing in the American island of Oahu, the Japanese ambassador to the United States and his colleagues delivered to our Secretary of State a formal reply to a recent American message. And while this reply stated that it seemed useless to continue the existing diplomatic negotiations, it contained no threat or hint of war or of armed attack. It will be recorded that the distance of Hawaii from Japan makes it obvious that the attack was deliberately planned many days or even weeks ago. During the intervening time, The Japanese government has deliberately sought to deceive the United States by false statements and expressions of hope for continued peace. The attack yesterday on the Hawaiian Islands has caused severe damage to American naval and military forces. I regret to tell you that very many American lives have been lost. In addition, American ships have been reported torpedoed on the high seas between San Francisco and Honolulu. Yesterday, the Japanese government also launched an attack against Malaya. Last night, Japanese forces attacked Hong Kong. Last night, Japanese forces attacked Guam. Last night, Japanese forces attacked the Philippine Islands. Last night, the Japanese attacked Wake Island. And this morning, the Japanese attacked Midway Island. Japan has therefore undertaken a surprise offensive extending throughout the Pacific area. The facts of yesterday and today speak for themselves. The people of the United States have already formed their opinions and well understand the implications for the very life and safety of our nation. As Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, I have directed that all measures be taken for our defense. But always will our whole nation remember the character of the onslaught against us. No matter how long it may take us to overcome this premeditated invasion, the American people in their righteous might will win through to absolute victory. I believe that I interpret the will of the Congress and of the people when I assert that we will not only defend ourselves to the uttermost, but will make it very certain that this form of treachery shall never again endanger us. Hostilities exist. There is no blinking at the fact that our people, our territory, and our interests are in grave danger. With confidence in our armed forces, with the unbounding determination of our people, we will gain the inevitable triumph. So help us God. I ask that the Congress declare that since the unprovoked and dastardly attack by Japan on Sunday, December 7th, 1941, a state of war has existed between the United States and the Japanese Empire. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem.
All right.
God bless America, crying.
God bless America, Muzzo. Aren't you Australian? Okay, so as far as the numbers go, that was the speech. That was FDR's famous Day of Infamy speech. But as far as the actual numbers go, well, let's just see how bad of a defeat it was for the United States. So, total lives lost. The U.S. had 2,500 compared to Japan's 65. U.S. lost 18 ships and the Japanese lost 29 planes and 55 airmen, actually. So the United States lost 18 ships and 169 planes. Whereas Japan, they only had 65 casualties. And they only lost 29 planes. If I'm not mistaken, their entire Air Force, their entire, what's it? It hasn't been a long thing. I guess it has been a long thing. The Japanese airplane carrier, they're fucking carriers. They were undetected on the north shore of Oahu, 200 yards during the entire attack. Right here. Hey, Peach, I got you. Okay. See right here. So I don't
Why is
believe it.
entertainment? Crazy to think we buddies with Japan.
Hey, Wyatt, aloha. Yeah, Japan's one of the only countries that I would like to visit. That's why I have a Japanese flag, and I'm a fan of Japanese culture in a way, Wyatt. Welcome, thanks for coming to class today, Wyatt. I'll make sure to mark you were present. But yeah, it's crazy the way that Japan had the what were those bombers? The suicide bombers, the kamikaze bombers. A lot of them attacked. Of the 65 casualties that Japan suffered that day, the majority of them were for suicidal kamikaze bombers. There were a couple other planes shot down. I think maybe only one or two out of the 29 planes too. The majority of them were kamikaze pilots. A few were shot down. There was a couple dogfights. I know there's a famous Ben Affleck movie, Pearl Harbor, but I'm not going to bother to watch that crap. You know, but there are a lot of good documentaries about Pearl Harbor. It's one of the most significant events in American history and America's short history. And it's one of the only times in American history that United States soil was attacked. The other time was September 11th. And, you know, somebody earlier in the lectures said that, you know, California was once attacked. I'm not 100% sure about that. But, hey, Peaches. Oh, come here, sweetie. You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? Okay. Thank you. I don't care what they name. Right. Here, you want me to put you back up there?
He said, Sunshine, so why didn't we go back Mr.G?
What? Is it Sunshine? Well, we bombed Nagasaki, Hiroshima and Nagasaki almost 2.5, 3 years after Pearl Harbor. But that was to end World War II. That was after the United States already went to war with Germany and on the fields in the skies of Europe. And then they went to war with Japan in the Pacific Ocean. Whoa. You're right, Peach, be careful. So, does anybody know some of the major ships? Like I said, 18 ships.
We need Japan twice, so that's why I am saying, surprised they are our allies.
That's true.
I love sushi.
I know, right? Sushi's great. So they sunk a total of 18 ships. They sunk 8 battleships. And the most famous battleship that they sunk 100% into the ocean, I think they hit 18 battleships and knocked them out. But one of the battleships, one of the United States' largest ships, was sunk into the ocean. So at the Pearl Harbor Memorial today, when you go there, you go to see the USS Arizona, right? And so when we take a field trip there, in a couple weeks from now, it's going to be on a Tuesday, because Tuesday is History Day. Or we could do it on a Friday, I suppose. But when you go there, you go and you see the USS Arizona. The USS Arizona. And that's a famous ship that's like underwater right now. And when you go and see it, you go to the Pearl Harbor site and they take you out there and you look down and the water's pretty clear, you know, it's in the harbor there. And you can see the top of a ship and it's still like leaking up and bubbles come up. And you see the bubbles come up from the ship. And it's kind of scary. And I've actually, you know, like, you know, it seems like, you know, and there's still bodies down there, and there's still people down there. There's a huge aircraft carrier down there. And they built like a bridge that walks right out onto it, too. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to go see the USS Arizona, which is, you know, part of the remnants of what is left after the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. So do we have any questions?
Ship.
So this will put it in perspective. This right here is the number of planes that Japan had in their arsenal. You see all those red, all those red, each one represents a plane. So 6:10 a.m. Minesweeper USS Condor sights periscope. So when they spotted him on radar, it was Sunday morning, and they had a lieutenant manning the radar in the North Shore, and he had only.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. I've only seen pics.
He had only. Yeah, it would be a fun little field trip for us to do. We'll do that, like I said, in about 2 weeks. Easy Sunshine. So, the person in charge of radar that morning
That's a lot.
on December 7th, 1941, he saw the planes coming in, but, like I said, they weren't expecting to be attacked in Pearl Harbor. They thought the United States thought if they were going to be attacked, it would be coming from the Atlantic. And so they had the majority of their aircraft carriers in the Atlantic. And a lot of people, conspiracy people, think FDR knew that they were about Pearl Harbor ahead of time, that he had prior knowledge that it was going to happen. And, I don't know, maybe he did. A lot of things really point that way. He did want to go to war, but he knew the only way that he could go to war would be if the United States, or the only way the public would support the war
How long did the attack last?
would be if the United States was attacked. Well, Georgina, that's a good question. It lasted between the early hours when they were spotted on radar at about 7 a.m. To about 10 or 11 a.m. So, it lasted a few hours. And like I said, it was on a Sunday morning, which is a really quiet, lazy time in Hawaii. A few years ago, they did that missile test where they sent everybody a text message in Hawaii saying that a missile was coming from North Korea.
Are you high right now?
And to pack your bags, because we're all going to crash and die. So that happened on Sunday morning as well, and it's the same kind of scenario. They caught us off guard. Thank God it wasn't real, but but this attack was real, and like I said, it started. They noticed it on radar about 7 a.m., but they weren't expecting it. And they thought it was a glitch because there were some planes coming from Midway that were supposed to arrive at noon on that day. So the United States Air Force, they were like, "Oh, those are just our planes. They're just here early," and in fact, they're the Japanese. And so the entire or the majority of the American defense, they were at like a church service out in Kaneohe or something. Like they were caught off guard, and there were so many casualties because it wasn't notified on radar, and or it wasn't notified, and there were a lot of mistakes made too. So yeah, it lasted from 6 to 10, so about 4 hours. So the first wave of planes take off from the Japanese aircraft carriers 200 miles north of Oahu at 6:10 a.m. The first shots are fired at USS Ward, a Japanese submarine, at 6:45 a.m. So isn't that interesting? The first shots of Pearl Harbor were actually fired by the United States. The United States bombed a Japanese submarine, and those were the very first shots fired by the United States in World War II. So you're ever on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and the millionaire question is, what were the first shots fired by the United States during World War II? Now you know. They were on a submarine on December 7th, 1941, and they attacked Pearl Harbor. Okay, so the first waves of Japanese aircraft actually reach Oahu at 7:40 a.m. Wow, I can't believe my finger filled up with pus already. Again. So, that's crazy when you think about it. The United States downed a Japanese submarine at 6:45. The first wave of planes didn't arrive until 7:40. That's almost an hour afterwards. So there were warnings. They saw the Japanese on radar at 6 a.m. They saw a Japanese sub at 6:45 a.m. The kamikaze and all the planes didn't get there till 7:40 a.m. There's plenty of time to evacuate. There's over an hour, over 2 hours. They could have easily cut back on civilian loss and casualty. However, a lot of people were goading the Japanese to attack the United States. They wanted the Japanese to attack the United States because it would give them a reason to go to war, which is exactly what it did. And what happened with September 11th? Well, if you guys remember, before September 11th, George W. Bush and Dick Cheney and all of their private entrants with Bilderberg, and a bunch of other military manufacturers, they really wanted a war. They were building all these guns and all these weapons, and they didn't have anywhere to use them, and then it was too peaceful. The United States needed a war. And so what happened? 2 planes flew into the World Trade Center. The majority of the American public think it's because of Saddam Hussein. They think he's the guilty culprit. And George Bush's approval rating is through the roof. And guess what? They're Fox News, CNN, they're blasting pro-war coverage every day. All the Americans are like, let's attack Iraq. And it builds up and builds up. Nobody's saying anything. And then finally, the United States attacks Iraq, invades their country, and they end up being there for years.
Mother, why did Japan bomb Mr.G?
Millions and millions of deaths, civilian casualties, one of the worst moves in American history. They're still paying for it. Why? Because somebody flew some planes in the World Trade Center, supposedly. What was that question, Wyatt? Maza? We did bomb that.
So many men joined the military.
Japan bombed the United States because the United States decided to cut off the oil. That's a great question, by the way. So Japan was an ally with the United States as well as China all through World War I. However, like I mentioned earlier in the lecture, Japan had a big problem with European imperialism, and you can't blame them. Like we talked earlier, they had an expression, Asia for Asians. And basically Japan's goal was to get control of Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, and China because of their oil all the way back then. And you could say Japan was one of the instigators for starting World War II. Of course, everybody, realizes Germany, invaded Poland, took over Austria, yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, Japan, they attacked Manchuria. They attacked, where did they attack after that? They attacked Hong Kong. They attacked Taiwan. They started taking over China to get to their oil. And the United States, they didn't do anything until Japan attacked French China. Because the French, oh, Peach, I love you too.
Mother, all around.
Yes.
The Philippines.
Yes, in the Philippines, exactly.
Wag mo just now, another vlog. And a kiss for you.
So yes, Japan, they had gone crazy. They were trying to take over, all of Southeast Asia, and it's the biggest scar on the Japanese history, is what they did at this time: the rape and murder.
Mrs. J, the man made very hard.
The rape and
Mother,
murder
how about that?
of not King.
Georgina did more. Japan never wanted to open trade routes in European countries in the 19th century except for the Dutch.
Yeah, and Japan, they didn't like the European countries. They didn't want to trade with them. And but as far as the United States goes, Japan didn't finally attack the United States. They didn't attack Pearl Harbor. Oh, I love you. I love you too. I love you. I'm going to take care of you and protect you. So,
J. Calvert, 196, Mr. GRB 6.
So United States didn't cut off the oil to Japan. So while Japan was raping and murdering inland China, while they took over Manchuria, while they took over the Philippines, oh, you're so beautiful, I love you, boo boo. while they took over the Philippines, the United States was still selling them oil. You know, a lot of shady things the United States were doing during pre-World War
That is why
II.
there she is. Pretty girl.
There was a huge Nazi party at Madison Square Garden, believe it or not, shortly before the United States entered World War II. There was extreme anti-Semitism in the United States during this time. You know, there was a lot of shady things going on. You know, they were doing business with, I think it was Xerox was doing business with the Nazis, Kodak as well, during this time. And one thing in particular is while Japan was pillaging and plummeting, whatever, you know what I mean, pummeling and pillaging, the United States was selling them oil.
What is RV6 helmet?
The United States was selling them oil to support this. And they didn't stop selling them oil until they got into inland China, into French China. You've heard of French Indochina? Yeah. Have you heard of French Indochina, Peach?
Yes, of course. And you eat French. Why do you know I'm a French subject?
Well, yeah, you've heard of French Indochina, Peach. Well, it's kind of odd. It's like the United States was, you know,
Mr.G, the mermaid pillaging and plundering.
yeah, pillaging and plundering. The United States at the time, they were so into, you know, well, like I guess they were going with the public opinion, and the United States at the time was heavenly Caucasian, let's just say. The makeup of the United States was much different.
Mr.G, the mermaid pirate flag.
And so, public opinion,
Bug, it's bug, and it's not kiss for you.
so,
That's up donates to Mr.G with text-to-speech.
the public opinion, the public in the United States, they didn't get too upset with Japan's Japanese expansionism, Japanese imperialism, until they attacked French Indochina, which, you know, had a lot of French, because, you know, there was a huge French and Chinese war. Peach, no, don't go there.
No, bug is on.
Peach, come here.
Mr.G live GS.
Hey guys, I'm going to play a little music here.
Mrs.G, the mermaid GS. Mother GS.
Thanks, Mrs. J. Thanks, Masa.
Easy Sunshine GS.
Thanks, Easy Funshine. Got some Enya going. So we got a bunch of upgrades coming for the classroom. Got a new chalkboard coming.
Georgie Unicorn GS.
New chalkboard should be here tomorrow. We have some new markers. We have a huge map coming. We have a globe. It's a shape. Yes, and some upgrades. You guys know I really like to invest in myself, and I know this is something that is going to grow and it's going to be bigger. And I'm providing a service, a quality service that's in demand. And so, if you know anybody looking for online teaching, if you know any students that want some tutoring, if you are a student and you want tutoring on any particular subject. I used to charge $50 an hour, and I'm not charging that for you guys. You guys get a special discount, Easy Funshine. If anybody has any request, if you have a paper, something you're writing about, if you have another project you're working on, Ashmod, thank you, GX. I'll make sure to put you on the list here and on the roll. And once again, if you weren't called during roll and you would like to receive credit for this course, send me a direct message on Discord or on Instagram or on Facebook. And yeah, I appreciate it.
What will the next class be about?
Well, tomorrow is Wednesday, and Wednesday is psychology, geology, or sociology. So tomorrow I have a Karl Marx lecture planned. You hear a lot about Marxism lately with different political groups and protests that are happening in the news. I think the majority of the people in those political groups that try to use, racist politics and racist ideologies, I believe. I don't know, some people believe it's a very controversial subject, so we're not going to get into the actual controversies of it. What we're going to do is just look up Karl Marx, because like I said, a lot of people, they might be in an organization and not even know what a Marxist is or who Karl Marx was. So we're going to have a brief lecture tomorrow on Karl Marx, but it's just going to be a short 30-minute or so lecture, then we're going to do something fun for the other times. We're going to use the board, we're going to be playing a game. It's either, we're going to be playing, we're going to do some games tomorrow because it's the middle of the week. It's been a long week for everybody, a lot of things going on. So we're going to have a short Karl Marx lecture tomorrow, and then after that we're going to play Hangman, Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy. We're going to play a lot of games with the board and the chat, so it's going to be real interactive tomorrow. So Georgina, Muzza, XFS, Numu, Ashmods, you guys want to make sure to make it tomorrow. Like I said, we're going to have a short lecture on Karl Marx and Marxism, and then we're going to spend the rest of the class playing games and playing with the cats too. Yeah. But yeah. And then the day after that is Thursday. It's my birthday, September 24th. After that, on Thursday we're gonna have a brief lecture on Carl Sagan, and then we're gonna move the classroom into the kitchen, and I'm going to cook some Lucky Charms marshmallow treats, like Rice Krispie treats, except for with Lucky Charms. So I want to make sure all you guys are there for my birthday. Lisa, Mrs. J, flowers in her hair. Oops. So yeah, it's going to be a really fun stream. Tomorrow's the day before my birthday. And then the next day is my birthday, September 24th. I'm going to spend that with you guys. I'm going to do what I enjoy doing, teaching on Thursday. We're going to learn about Carl Sagan for about an hour. So tomorrow we're going to learn about Karl Marx. Hey, Anamu, I'll make sure to mark you present here. Thanks for showing up. I don't have to mention Hawaii time for you, right? But yeah, on Wednesday, we're going to do Karl Marx, and on Thursday, we're going to do Carl Sagan, and it's also my birthday on Thursday. So we're going to cook up some Lucky Charms Rice Krispie treats. And I haven't had much of an appetite lately. Maybe we could order pizza or Chinese food, or we'll just make the Rice Krispie treats, right? That should be enough. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the lecture.
I love Carl Sagan.
Yeah, everybody seems to like Carl Sagan, huh? I mean, we'll have a few different lectures about him. I'm actually not a science guy. Every Thursday is Science Thursday, but it's going to be like a fun science. We're not going to be doing like hard equations or anything. We're going to be learning about Carl Sagan, or stars in the universe, or Unamana Munu, that guy's screen name. We'll be learning about fun things like that. So that's this kind of science that we're going to
This
be
is
doing.
Jake, the mermaid. I love this song from Master Melody.
Oh, okay. Is that what movie it's from? Cool. This is my classroom mix. This is Jay. I'm glad you like it. But yeah, class is going to be again tomorrow at 3 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Hopefully we get some of those upgrades I was talking about, the map or the globe or stuff like that. And if not, we're going to have a really interesting lecture on Karl Marx. And then we're going to play some games, Wheel of Fortune, Monopoly, whatever. We'll play some games with the board, Hangman, If you guys know any fun board games, Wheel of Fortune, Scrabble, we can do that. And we'll try to make it a fun stream tomorrow, and then the next day because it's my birthday. So yeah, thanks everybody for being here today. Check out my social media in the description. Did I even put the description? I didn't, did I? Golly, man, I didn't do that the whole stream, huh? All right. Okay, so sometimes you forget things. I do have a lot going here. Like the last 2 times, I didn't even use the studio light, which is important to use because it looks way better with the light, right? And like some days I forget my badge, my school badge.
Thank you for class, leave a lot.
You're welcome, Lita. You've been a little quiet today. I was wondering if everything was okay, Lita. I'm glad you're still here.
Georgie, you need one, there are no links.
But yeah. So I forgot to put the description I forgot to put my social media in the tip description, so the donation subscription. The donation link in the description. So it's okay, but any donations are appreciated, you know, especially the next couple days, Wednesday and Thursday. But I'm not worried about that. I'm just happy you guys here. I'm just happy you guys come here. Like I said, if you know anybody that wants to learn, that wants to have fun, we do this Monday through Friday, every day live at 3 o'clock Hawaii time. So yeah, I'm trying to build an audience here. I'm offering a service, a really good service, and it's something that you know, you would normally pay a lot for. So thanks everybody. I appreciate you guys. Hey, thank you, Mrs. J. Thank you, Lita. Peach says goodbye.
I'll tell you guys tomorrow. Peachy's out. Peachy out. Love.
Mrs. J, the nominate. I'm sorry, Lita. I am letting on his like smiling face. Very based.
Guys, I appreciate all of you guys, and I'll make sure to, me and Peach are going to say a prayer for you guys. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Dear God, please bless everybody in the chat. Please watch over them. Thank you for letting them find me and Peach. Please bless little Peach. Please bless all the outside cats. Please, you come down, or aliens or somebody come down and save the good people on this planet. Because there's a lot of good people, and there's a battle between good and evil. So God, please bless all the kitties, all the nice ones, all the ones in the chat, all the ones that encourage me, all the ones that want me to do well, all the ones that want peace in the world, all the ones that just want to live their life and take care of CATs and make friends and help people and teach people and do good. So thank you for everything you've given us. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I'll see you guys later. You've been great. And talk to you guys tomorrow. Aloha, everybody.
Bless up. Jack called me, had medium skin tone. Better smiles. Amen. Thank you.
Love you guys.